Hey everyone, Todd here, internalarchitect.com, and in this video you're going to learn about how to manage your dilemmas as a lymphoma survivor. Now, as we go through life and as things kind of happen, especially as survivors, we end up dealing with a lot of situations or areas in our life where we have problems that we have to solve. I like to call these dilemmas because that's what they turn out to be, is situations that really need our attention and need problem solving. There's 5 different things, which I'll talk about here shortly, but when you are dealing with a dilemma, you got to learn to be patient. You need to learn to manage your expectations, and then you will be able to manage the dilemmas in your life. Now, patience is a key one here. It's important to understand that when I talk about patience, I'm kind of meaning in the entire broad spectrum of everything that you do in your life. Patience is one of those things that is so incredibly important when you are working through problems, when you are waiting in line at a restaurant, or when you are waiting to get through traffic. Patience is one of the biggest virtues that we all need to learn to have. I need to be better at it myself, but at the end of the day, I do know that I am trying religiously to be more patient at everything that I do because it helps me out in the long run. By being patient, we open up time to allow itself to do what it's going to do naturally, and that's let everything else happen in the order that it needs to happen in order for you to move forward into the next decision. So what that means is, let's say we're going to the coffee shop and we put our order in and we had to wait in line by about 5 minutes or so because of the line in front of us. We're so anxious to get our coffee right then and now that we lose sight of the patience of everyone else that is come before you to get their coffee. And so being patient with things, it's easier to manage the expectations of what it is that you are doing and how you are getting it. And as you develop your patience, you begin to start developing and managing your expectations of the event and of the situation that's happening at hand. As you put those two together, you will start to manage all the dilemmas that happen in your life. It takes time, it takes practice, but these next 5 things will help you really understand patience, learn patience, and that will help you learn how to manage your expectations of what that situation is. So number 1, when you're starting to feel frustrated, walk away and take a 5-minute break and breathe a little bit. What that does is it helps you relax and it helps you assess the situation and helps you gain some clarity of what is happening and why it is happening. And the second part of that is asking yourself, what are you thankful for today? Huge question to ask yourself, especially when you're starting to get frustrated. It helps you calm down and it helps you realize that there's just a bigger picture out there than letting the frustration and the anxiety catch up to you and make you mad and make you angry. It's really easy to be angry and frustrated, but it's a lot harder to feel happiness and positivity. And those are the things that we need to work on every day for every situation and every dilemma that we come in contact with. The second thing is to breathe. I touched on it briefly on the first one, but the second one is really important. Breathing helps you calm down. It helps lower your blood pressure. And doing this really helps you relax and helps you calm down and helps relieve the anxiety that you might be feeling because of the impatience and the situation and the dilemma that you're going through. I've always liked to breathe in through my nose and out through my mouth. Maybe it's something my mom taught me, but it's helped me relax and it's helped me kind of live more in the moment during events and during contests when I was competing at a high level. This was a great way to start to relax, to deal with the dilemma of anxiety at the time for me, and it worked really, really good in calming myself down and gaining that clarity that I really needed before an event and before any sort of ordeal that I'm about to deal with or this big decision that I have to make. I love to breathe. I take the time to do it, probably more so than I should, but you know what? I think that's why I feel as good as I do today than I ever have in my life. Number 3 is positive self-talk. Tell yourself that you are better than the feelings you're feeling at the time. I am okay. I will get through this. I will survive. These are all positive mental self-talk items you can tell yourself and to continue telling yourself as you're working through the dilemma. And to help change your mindset about the dilemma and the situation going on, you can tell yourself, what is this that I'm learning? What am I going to learn from this experience that is going to help me in the future? And by taking that growth mindset stance, you are opening up your mind, you're learning something new, and you're challenging yourself to being a better person at the same time. Number 4, this is something you always need to ask yourself, because sometimes we all just take on a little too much. And that is asking yourself, did you take on too much work? Did you take on too much exercise? Whatever the situation is, whatever the deal is, these are questions you really need to ask yourself, because in order to start finding peace within your life and to solve some of these dilemmas, you need to make sure that you are not experiencing excess, I like to call it mental bandwidth. And if you are taking on too much, you cannot deal with everything that's happening at the same time. Ask yourself this question: have you taken on too much? And then one other thing with number 4 is you need to take that step back and do a little self-reflecting. I like doing that because it helps you stay in check. It helps keep your mind focused, and it helps you kind of see the bigger picture. And if you did take on too much, now's the best time that you can scale back and start taking that big project that you just took on in smaller chunks and making it a little bit easier to grasp and to accomplish at the same time. You know, they say that the only way that you can eat an elephant is one bite at a time. And the 5th thing that's super important is when you need to make that decision, is to make that decision and just dive in. At the end of the day, there's only one way you're going to find out what that outcome is. And by just doing it and getting into it, it's going to help you move forward, and it's going to help you accomplish whatever that goal is, and to helping solve that dilemma that you are dealing with. So make that decision and dive in. There might be consequences to that action, but at the end of the day, there may not be. As long as you feel like your intent is pure and true, then that's the best you can do, and that's what you need to move forward with. So I hope you like this video. Thank you for watching. I really appreciate your time and energy into watching the videos I put together for lymphoma survivors. Super important to me, as I'm a survivor myself. So keep watching, and look forward to seeing you on the next video.